What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Kena Bridge of Spirits DLC. Now, I'll be flat out honest, I did not expect to make this video. I wasn't even going to make a video, speculating DLC. But actually, the co-founder of the game, Mike Greer, he spoke about it, and he talked about things coming to the game, post-launch, which I found very interesting. And what he says, I feel like I have a pretty good idea of what he could be talking about, and I could very well be wrong, but we're going to go over it in this video. Now, the wording here, I think they messed up. This comes from PlayStation Universe. I think they messed up the quote, although maybe not. So I'll read it and then we'll kind of dissect it. But here's what, they say. He said, "We definitely want to support the game. We know that people love the photo mode, the combat. So we're thinking about things we can do to expand some new combat scenarios and maybe some additional content in the future featured around combat. Yeah, I think we want to make some updates in photo mode. People have been asking for certain features that would be easy to do. So I think we'll be supporting Kena for a while." So, when he says above, we know that people love the photo mode, the combat. So I just think it's and the combat, and then he goes into talking about the combat first. I'm pretty sure that's the right way of it. Now, here's what I'll say about photo mode. We'll do the easier one and the shorter one first. I like photo mode quite a bit. I am artistically, I don't even know what the word would be, not talented. I don't have any talent in that regard. So photo mode for me, I do the quick little picture just to get the trophy. If there is a Kena does have a trophy, but like in general games, if there is no trophy for photo mode, I may not even go on it. However, I know how amazing it is. People, in terms of asking for photo mode and it just being a feature you need to have in your games nowadays, it's incredible how much I think the gaming community has kind of forced that in a good way on developers to make that the case. And we've gotten some just incredible shots and just views of these games that honestly would not be possible without photo mode. So I'm very happy about that. And the game does have photo mode. I haven't really messed around with it, but that's great. Now, the thing that I really like is that combat stuff. So again, so we're thinking about doing things to expand some new combat scenarios and maybe some additional content in the future featured around combat. Now, to me, first immediate thing I go and think of is a wave-based mode. I think it would work absolutely perfect for a game like this, simply because, they actually have a couple different ways they could do it. The first thing that I thought of was, okay, you're literally in an arena and you're facing enemies and different waves, and you have to deal with the kind of the flowers that you have to send your rots to attack, and then you activate and you blow them up. You could do that and just do an arena-based, a wave-based mode, okay? Could easily do that. Now, I won't spoil the story ending of the game, but I am going to spoil how the final combat is set up at the end of the game, okay? So if you don't want to know, I guess skip ahead a little bit, but here we go. Basically, all the end of the game is, in terms of fighting, you fight a section of the boss, okay? In terms of you have to damage the boss a certain amount of time, and then you go towards almost like an arena-based thing where you just face kind of a couple waves of enemies. You go through portals to get to the next wave, then you go back to the boss, then you go back to the kind of the realm that doesn't really have anything in it, and you fight more enemies, and then you go back to the final boss. So that's how that works. I honestly think that would be almost perfect as well. You could even take what I just said as my first option and just remove the idea of destroying the corruption, destroying the flowers, right, with the rots. You could take that out and literally just do, okay, wave 1, go through the portal, go to wave 2. Go through maybe one wave you don't have rots. Maybe one wave there's health around. Maybe one wave there's not. Maybe in one wave you're not allowed to use your bow. It's very easy to come up with these things. The game, as I've said in past videos, there's more Kena videos coming in the next day or two on both of my channels. I'm actually going crazy with videos, but one of the things I've said is I am just blown away. Leaving this game, I did not expect the combat to be this good. Remember, going into it, combat was on my list of things I'm not concerned about, but things that could go either way, right? That we don't know too much about it. So I am just blown away with, the game's hard. The game is difficult. I died many, many times on bosses, on certain areas. I saw other people say on my videos that they've died a bunch too. It's not, it's not like I'm a horrible, terrible gamer and I just can't do it. I'm not the greatest, but the game is difficult, but the combat is just so good. It's actually simple and yet detailed. Does that make sense? It's very, I'm blown away by it. So I really think you could, Do I think you could add more things to how Kena fights? No, I think that's more like a sequel thing, because then you have to add weapons, you have to add like abilities. That's more work than just doing like an arena-based mode. So I think the combat that we have with her and her abilities and what she's able to do is going to be capped. You know what I mean? We're not going to be able to learn more, but I really think you can just shuffle what they did really throughout the entire game and just put, I mean, there's a wide variety of enemy types. There are many bosses. You could even have bosses that you fought in the game, right? You could even have them be like timed trials. Now, I didn't say that in my initial thing, because I'll be honest, I actually, in pretty much every game, maybe because it gives me like anxiety, I despise time-based things. So whenever you give me a time limit to do something, I panic. I normally, you know, I would actually be able to beat something where you say you're not allowed to get hit. If you get hit one time, you die. I would rather do a challenge like that than do a challenge of like, okay, here's your time limit, beat the enemies in that time limit. I just hate those ones. And it's not a Kena problem. It's a problem just in general with games with me. So I'd really hope they don't, but you could do time trials. They already do the not get hit thing with the cursed chests where you can find them in the environment. They do that where they'll give you like things that can't happen to you, or things that are just not allowed in general. And one of the things is you can't take a hit from enemies. So and so they've already been doing that basically throughout the game. So I think the potential is really big to just kind of do something fun. You know, this is not an additional 2, 3. It's not like an extra chapter. This is not a Kena 2, right? This is, again, not even giving her like new abilities and stuff. I really don't think so. I just think it's going to be kind of challenge modes, different enemy variations, shuffling, you know, wave-based, time trials, not allowed to get hit, stuff like that. And I think that's fine. Actually, the game is built really well to do something like that. You'd almost think, now I didn't expect this, but I mean, beating it, you could actually leave and be like, wow, I'm actually surprised they don't have a mode like that built in, because I think it would work so well with the kind of game they made. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. You like my ideas? You think of anything different? Let me know. Make sure, as always, you guys are subscribed to the channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. And I do a brand new video on the channel every single day. And so I hope to see you guys for tomorrow's video.